Even with a runtime of more than 2 hours, Eternals is still a dense movie, full of exposition that reshapes the Marvel Universe. Meaningful moments are dropped in with barely enough time to breathe before the conversation turns. These are the lines in Eternals that mean more than you realize. When Dane Whitman finally comes face-to-face with Ikaris, the on-again, off-again ex-boyfriend of Cersei, things are understandably a little awkward. For some time, he's heard about his girlfriend's ex, and it's never easy to live in the shadow of someone else, especially when he's got several thousand years on you.
How long were you together?
5,000 years.
I guess you can call that long term.
Dane has been trying hard to get past Cersei's recollections of the pilot, so nicknamed because Ikaris can fly. Get it? Now, as the information finally begins to coalesce, the line shows that Dane is trying to play it cool. He's trying to be supportive of Cersei, but is likely feeling a bit inadequate compared to the eternal being who can literally fly. After all, how would you feel if you discovered your ex had dated Superman?
Dad, that's Superman with the cape and you're shooting laser beams out of your eyes.
Dane's question to Cersei about why the Eternals sat out the whole Thanos thing poses a question that many MCU fans have spent time thinking about themselves. It also reflects on a hard-to-grasp reality about these long-living godlike beings. They're just middle management, made by the Celestials to exterminate Deviants, and that's about it.
We were instructed not to interfere until now.
When the Eternals were created and installed on Earth all those years ago, they were given orders, and they have followed those orders well. Humanity has spent the last several hundred years thriving, both in terms of population and the development of technologies and medicine. At the beginning of the current-day scenes in the film, the Deviants have seemingly been exterminated, and the group have been rewarded with a well-deserved extended vacation. As details of the emergence are revealed, it should serve as a cause for celebration among the Eternals. It signifies a job well done, and although it means the end of humanity as we know it, for the Eternals it's the equivalent of building a successful branch office and being promoted to go head up a new region. A few of them are ready to take this pat on the back and help the bosses with new development plans. This line shows how Cersei begins the film towing the company line, but eventually comes to realize she loves her underlings at the local branch. It's obvious early on that Thena is grappling with some problems, and this line reveals the dark side of that struggle. Through flashbacks, we learn that the character is suffering from something called mad weary, which resembles what we Earthlings typically see in our elderly and would call dementia. Thena's eyes glaze over on occasion, indicating an oncoming episode. She'll sometimes forget where she is in time, who she's with, and assume they must be an enemy. This can be a very dangerous thing, particularly with someone who has superpowers and can manifest deadly weapons at a moment's notice. It is initially believed that Thena's mad weary is the result of being alive for so long that her memories are becoming confused. As the audience later learns, it's somewhat the opposite. Thena's problem isn't that she's forgetting things, it's that she remembers everything. Unlike the other Eternals, her memory hasn't been effectively wiped clean with every new deployment. All these memories have become a jumble, to the point where Gilgamesh needs to step in and serve as a caretaker. But as it turns out, Thena knows enough to remember the true intentions of the Celestials. Find your own purpose, and one day when we see ourselves again, I want you to tell me what you found. This line from Ajak drives home the maternal role she has had in the lives of the Eternals for thousands of years, and the mistaken moment when they believe they've eradicated the last deviant threat from Earth. As Prime Eternal, she's the group's leader. She has the greatest insight into the Celestials, helps set the tone, and with these words, sends the group on a long vacation where they are scattered to the ends of the world. Kingo becomes a Bollywood star in India, Cersei moves to London, becomes a teacher and falls in love, Ajak finds peace on a ranch in South Dakota, Phastos settles in the suburbs of Chicago where he also finds love and starts a family, Druig lands in the Amazon and uses his powers to protect, or perhaps more accurately stated, zombify, a village he comes to view as a utopia. Gilgamesh and Thena have settled in Australia, while Makari seems to have stayed in the spaceship and caught up on her reading. What would you do if you had several hundred years of me time to yourself? What the Eternals choose to do says as much about them as any line in the movie. It's a shame that Ajak never got to hear their stories.
Pretty impressive, right?
Possibly the most impactful line from the film is the one where the Eternals realize that everything dies except for them because they were never alive. It comes at a key moment when the Eternals essentially have the rug pulled out from under them. For thousands of years, they have been immortal, invincible, near-omnipotent celestial beings. Now, they understand that they're essentially just worker ants whose hill is about to be destroyed so they can start anew. The long game of the Celestials was known by a select few of the Eternals, and each reacted to it in different ways. It wasn't until the path forward became clear to Cersei that someone became determined to let it go no further, while possessing the ability to actually put a stop to it. Where does the Marvel Universe go from here? Earth now has a group of superpowered, somewhat revealed heroes. Soon they might just help the Avengers save the day, if only they can get past their own identity crisis. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos about your favorite movies and TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.